Hello, hello everybody. Let me see. Let's begin it. Great. So, welcome. My name is Edson Drago. I'm an astrologer. I'm glad you are watching this video. This is a subject normally or usually people don't usually pay attention on this, or this is not the most relevant thing that when we are talking about astrological natal charts. So I wanted to bring it here because people in general don't usually know the relationship between ascendant and descendant and the importance of it when we are relating to other people, especially in love relationship, in loving partner relationships. So what's the point here? What's going on? Let's begin with what ascendant means in this context, the context of love relationship. Ascendant in general is how we begin things, how we give a start to things. So this means that our first movement will come to exist in the world through the characteristics of our ascendant sign, our rising sign. So this is why people usually, first of all, see our ascendant sign before even then sun, moon, and other planets signs. So this is something that's already known for everybody. Almost everybody knows that we first see, and some astrologers call it the math. But it's not really a math because it's not something that we can take out. This is our first movement. And if it's our first movement is or our first action, this is why people see first our ascendant. But it always shows the way I treat things and people when I meet them for the first time. So, of course, if I meet someone for the first time, I will act like my ascendant sign. For example, I am Aquarius, and I'm very Aquarius. I have 5 planets in Aquarius, including Sun, and and very important planets. I don't talk too much about my chart today, at least today. But my ascendant is in Taurus. It's very conflictive with Aquarian. So when I am beginning something, I begin carefully. I do it slowly. I present myself in a very controlled manner, trying to be as elegant as possible for an Aquarian. So I try to be cool in some sense, but only to be to enter the scene in a somewhat fashionable way, so people will not reject me because of my Aquarius. So because of this squaring in my chart. Anyway, so I first see people through this lenses too. So I try to find people who would be in accordance with Taurus. And so I act like Taurus and people see me acting like Taurus. After a while, they can see my other planets, most all of them in Aquarius. But anyway, if they were in different signs, it would be easy for them to understand how these dynamics work. Then, when I meet someone, the beginning of this relationship, before it becomes a close relationship, I will keep on acting like Taurus for a while. And of course, after a while, many other planets will participate in this mix that comes out to build a relationship. Then when I get close to someone, we get somewhat intimate, like not intimate in the sense of still love relationship, but when I become friends with someone, more of my 7th house will come into the relationship. But when I am living in a love, in an intimate relationship, if I can tell that now we are a couple, so now the opposite sign will take place, and my ascendant will reduce its participatory action or activity in my relationships. And then Scorpio comes and acts like Scorpio. So people who are just used to see me as Taurus at first, when it comes to a close relationship, I become Scorpio. And you can imagine the transformation that comes now. So some people would be scared with this because, oh, that's so elegant and sensitive and calm and stable person now comes with this avalanche of emotions and with all of this intensity in my relationship with the other person, and trying to enjoy the good but intense emotions that I can have through my relationship, with my love relationship, would be like, just like, whoa, somewhat busy with all this transformation. So what's the problem here? The problem is that whoever has a sign in the ascendant will have the opposite sign in the descendant. So my first house would be one sign, my seventh house is the opposite sign, always, always. So if my ascendant, if my rising sign is my beginning with, for example, beginning the relationship, when this relationship established itself as a love relationship or an intimate or a close relationship, my best friend relationship, doesn't matter. But now, today, I want to talk about love relationship. So when we become a couple, then there is this impossibly to control. It's impossible to control this transformation. This transformation comes back. Then it always is okay. There's something going wrong here. I don't know what's going on. Maybe nothing. Anyway, so when this transformation comes, people usually think that I transformed myself. Listen, man, you are changing. It was not what I wanted. It was not what I used to. It was not what I bought at first. So it's quite a misselling this time. No, it's not a misselling because it was there since the beginning, but it was not present as it is when this relationship established itself as a close relationship. Then seventh house comes to play. And it happens always with everybody. So that's why sometimes we got so scared with the transformation of someone from the first days or the first meetings, the first dates we have. Let me just check out something. No, it's working properly. I'm receiving message that's some problem with my connection, but I hope there's no problem here. If it happens something, I will record this again. Anyway, so when someone begins with a sign, it will establish this close relationship because astrology is like this. It's exactly like this. We cannot change it. And sometimes we are not even aware that this transformation is taking place. So this is something important to say to everybody, and everybody could be aware of this because it's impossible to control, because it's in our like bios, it's in our first program that we begin with one sign, and when we become closer, we change, we move to the opposite sign. And sometimes it's not so important because someone could have different planets in different signs, so this transformation is not so radical as with some people. But some people have this strong transformation from one sign to the other. And so the other person who is living or building a relationship with this person will be scared about this transformation. And this happens all the time. And that's why many people get trouble get into trouble in building a relationship because they are not prepared to that transformation. They are not even aware that this transformation is happening. inside of them while it's happening in the other person too. Okay, so let's see closer each sign, what happens with each sign in the ascendant when it comes to law of relationship. When you meet someone, Aries ascendant, what you see? You see a joyful guy, a joyful girl, you see a joyful person who is moving around and always moving his body or her body, their body. So they are always in movement. They love to act in immediately. They don't want to spend time like thinking about the decision. They don't want to spend some time in they don't want to spend some time in thinking about what's going to do. There's something to be done. Let's do it right now. So you meet someone with these characteristics. You don't need to ask twice. You just, hey, let's go doing this. Yeah, let's do it now. So they go walking, they go to a party, they go with you to wherever because they want to be with you. And so that's cool. The person completely open to open to interact all the time. Of course, they are somewhat impulsive in the beginning. They have sometimes some, how could I say that? They are not really rude because it depends on many other parts of the chart. And I'm not treating many other parts of the chart. I'm just like making a tunnel vision of this relationship, ascendant and descendant. But anyway, there is always room to this person be somewhat rude or aggressive sometimes, even in the beginning, but it's covered by the joy, making fun of things and having fun with a lot of things. It's a funny person sometimes. So this begin to change when you get closer and closer, and then you establish, oh, okay, now we are a couple, isn't it? Yeah. So now I change, I become Libra. When this person becomes Libra, he's not, they are not prioritizing independence, autonomy, moving, dynamic decision making. All of this gives place to sharing all the decisions and not deciding by themselves. For example, in the beginning, Ascendant in Aries just buy the tickets. Oh, let's go to the movies. Oh, I bought the tickets already. I just will go and take you to the movies or to a trip, to a small trip or whatever. So many activities will be done this way. But when it comes to when this relationship establishes itself as a couple relationship, he, she, they are, they will ask you, what do you think? I was thinking about going to the beach in this weekend. What do you think about that? I don't know. It's up to you. Do you want to go? I don't know. I want to do what you want. Yeah, but I also want to do what you want. So what do you want to do? I don't know. What do you want to do? This become crazy sometimes because the other person is very used already to the impulsive guy, the man or the woman who always have initiative, so makes decision by itself and is very independent and have his own or her own plans and projects to keep on paying attention. But then it becomes not exactly codependent, but closer to this because this person really wants to share the decisions, share the plans, share the projects, the objectives for the couple for the future. So then they don't want to talk too much in the beginning, but then they want to talk about everything. He wants to share his opinion. She wants to share what are their plans, you know. So this change just makes the other person become, I'm feeling like dizzy because I don't understand you are another person. Why didn't you show me that in the beginning? Because it was impossible to show it in the beginning because in the beginning they are, I'm not used to this third person plural, but okay, I'm trying. But okay, they are trying to be ascendant, and they are showing, they are not trying, they are showing the ascendant sign. But when it becomes closer, it's not the ascendant, it's the descending sign that comes to play. Okay, so what happens to Taurus? I said already, but let's look closer to this. In the beginning, very attentive, very Venusian, like charming and um, being elegant and very careful, taking care of the other person and approaching slowly, step by step, without too much emotion and putting the attention more in the sensations, bodily sensations, and choosing beautiful places with a good smell, food with incredible taste to share. And this is Taurus in the beginning. But then you become closer and closer, and then you establish a relationship, and it becomes Scorpio. And Scorpio could be, yeah, this avalanche of emotions that comes sometime, and it's a nightmare, and not a nightmare for the other person, but it's easy and it's important to allow themselves to be this way, because this is the natural way. They should not try to control these emotions, because being Scorpio in a relationship is living as it's breathing emotions all the time. And more than that, is very prone to mix these emotions with sexual attraction, and then being seductive, and sometimes very silent, not as in the beginning, but now very silent and very seductive, and sometimes bringing the dark part of Scorpio. And the dark part of Scorpio, you already know, comes to jealousy, comes to to power games, and comes to hiding some emotions, because I don't know what would be the effect of my emotions on the other person. So this is very difficult for whoever is creating or beginning or building a relationship with someone like this, okay? Then let's see Gemini. Gemini in the beginning. Between Gemini and Sagittarius, it's not a big difference, but there is a difference. What would be this difference? When you meet someone whose ascendant is in Gemini, this is a very talkative person, talks about everything and make connections, and want to create a complete map of concepts and ideas that I want to share with this person, and paying a lot of attention on what this person is bringing to the relationship in their talking, in their ideas, in their ideologies and philosophies, and what this person thinks about the world and life in general. So he wants to share this mental perspective of life with the other person, using a lot of good communication and exploring concepts and words and things like that. When this person comes to, there's one thing, it's very important. Gemini ascending is not someone prone to action. It's not someone who wants to begin things like, oh, I have a good idea, let's do it right now. No, they want to explore every consequences of making a decision, or deciding to A or B or something else. They want to explore the consequences of deciding on this or that. So they sometimes become like locked in a looping thinking about the decision in itself. So they don't act very much, or they don't act easily on their own decisions, because they are spending a lot of time exploring it mentally with his own communication within themselves, but also because they want to share with you what they are thinking about doing in the future. So It's not a dynamic person. But when it comes to a couple relationship, then they become very dynamic. They become, okay, so now we are a couple, now let's move. Oh, calm down, calm down. No, 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 no. Let's do it right now. I want to do it. Do you want to do it? We have a relationship, isn't it? So if we have this relationship, we're going to do it right now. And sometimes they can trample a little parts of the other person's life. That's terrible. So there is a risk of this person become a little bit rude, also, just like Aries or similar to Aries, because if they have a good argument to give support to a decision, they want to do it right now, and they occupy a large space in the relationship. So sometimes the other person becomes like uncomfortable, at least uncomfortable with this. And this is the shift that comes from Gemini to Sagittarius. And so the other person should be prepared to such a transformation like this. Not the other person can't stay or can stand, can support this and go away, right? Now, let's see Cancer, Capricorn. I will show some possibilities to deal with this in the end of this video. So if you don't want to to wait the description of this sign, go to the end of this video. If you are Sagittarius, Aries enough, and you don't know, oh my God, I want to see the solutions of this problem. So jump to the end of the video and then you find it out there. Sorry, the joke. Anyway, so if you meet someone for the first time and it's a Cancer Ascendant, you can feel the other person being very open, very welcoming, and very attractive also, but attractive with this kind of sweet approach to the relationship, this tendency to offer support, care, like giving all the attention to the other person, like, oh, I can see your cups are empty, so your cup is empty. Do you want me to serve you something? They are very attentive to the needs of other person, and especially emotional needs. Oh, I'm seeing you are different today. Did it happen something? Tell me, well, how are you feeling today? So this is Cancer like beginning of a relationship. But after that, after a long while, when you establish the relationship, what happens? They become Capricorn. And Capricorn is, okay, so I will give you all the material support. I'll give you everything you need. If you need to move from one place to the other, I will help you to do this. I will do everything I can to give you this material support. But don't ask me to be so close like this. I don't need to talk about emotions so much anymore, because now we are already a couple, aren't we? So why don't we act like this? So we trust each other. Let's build something solid for the future. Let's build a future with safety material thing. So let's build a family, and then I will be happy with this. So we don't need to give this emotional support all the time. Don't. It was in the beginning, not now. So the other person who was used to that will miss it a lot, because that was the beginning. So people would say, you changed so much. You used to be so warm and welcoming, and now you are almost a piece of ice in front of me. You are just a wall of a stone wall in front of me. You don't share with me your emotions, your desires, and things like that. No, you know already. Why should I tell you everything again? This is a Capricorn thinking when it's in the seventh house in a relationship. So this is another big transformation, and sometimes it's caring, or sometimes it is talking to someone. Then let's see what happens with Leo Ascendant. Leo Ascendant or Leo sign is not ego thing. Forget this. This is not, there's nothing to do with Leo. Leo, the first or the most important characteristic of Leo is being magnetic, is being charismatic. Just like the fruit, the written fruit in the summer that holds the attention, all the insects, the reptiles, the birds, that all comes to this fruit like close to them. Or like you see a woman entering a room with a newborn baby in their arms, and everybody goes to see the baby. So the baby is also, like said Freud, the emperor, the home's emperor. So this baby calls all the attention on him. This magnetic attraction is Leo. So Leo wants to attract, but wants to form groups, wants to form strong ties with other people. That's what they want to do. So there's nothing to do about being the one who is very admirable, but admiration is part of the play. It's part of the play because this admiration strengthen the ties with this admiration for Leo. Is a strengthening of the ties with a love partner. Okay, so this is very important. So in the beginning, it shows, oh, you are so beautiful, you are so attractive today. Oh, really? Like, I love you. No, they are very dramatic. They sometimes seems to be overacting. This is particularly important to Leo, to show this, to make sure that this admiration is happening. And then they want to see the same. They want to perceive the same from the other person. So it's the beginning of the relationship. Then they are already couple. They are trusting each other. They know each other, admires each other. There's good reasons to have an admiration. There is no admiration or something that you could be proud to be with this person. They won't be with you anyway. So there is this already. Okay, so now we are closer. We are a couple already. So we don't need anymore this acting of Leo kind. Now I am Aquarius. Now that I am Aquarius, what's the most important thing for Aquarius? Freedom, authenticity, experiencing new things, innovative things, an innovative way of relating, closely relating, some kind of polyphacetic, multifacetic attitudes, or interesting different things, and sometimes going out alone and being with people, meeting someone new, and just walking around and meeting people. So the other person who's used to Leo kind of paying attention and trying to impress the other person like this. Wow, very magnetic and charismatic. It's not anymore. Left me alone here and went out with a lot of people doing different things. And when we go to a party, he or she leave my hand and go to talk to this or them to that. There is a lot of trust in the air, but the other person cannot understand or cannot admit or cannot feel comfortable in a situation like we are going to a party together, and then all of a sudden this person goes away and starts talking to a lot of people and leave me alone in the entrance of the party. So what's happening now? The Aquarian kind, the Aquarian seventh house is completely self-secure about this. I don't need to be sure all the time because we are already a couple. So if we are already a couple, I don't need to give all my attention to this person anymore. So for the other person, it's just like changing. I was the queen for him, or I was the king for her, and now I'm not anymore. So this person is changing. If they are changing, I have to change too. So I'm going out of this relationship because I don't feel respected anymore. But there's nothing. This is the normal attitude for someone who has a Leo ascendant and a seventh house, surely a seventh house in Aquarius. So if you are not prepared to such a change like that, if you know someone in Leo Ascendant, just abandon him like in the beginning. No, this is just a joke. We have to know, we have to learn how to deal with these situations. Of course, no one is just like so radical that comes from a Leo beginning to a complete Leo beginning to a complete Aquarius establishing. No, it's not such radical. I'm doing this the kind of theater, it's the kind of exaggeration I'm doing now, because in order to understand the dynamic that goes here. But we have to learn to understand the other person from their perspective, not from my perspective. From my perspective, I was used to that person like this, and this person changed it to that, because this person or this person has this or has this mechanics of changing from one perspective to the other unconsciously, and almost impossible to control it, because if this person try to change completely and try to avoid being Aquarius in a intimate relationship, it's going to be acting, overacting. It's not true for him. So they feel like, no, it's not mine. I'm not living my life. So it's a fake relationship at the end. So it's not something to take into consideration. But the other person must admit that he himself must shift also to somewhat, not to adapt, but to welcome this relation, or welcome this, or of course tell the other person to let's try to create something in the middle using other planets or something. But in the beginning, the point is being attentive and being aware that this transformation will happen, whatever this transformation is there to happen in any time. Then we come to Virgo Pisces, and Virgo Pisces is one of the most, how do I say that? Yeah, it's concerning. It's something that shocks everybody. Because, for example, if you meet someone, Virgo Ascendant in the beginning, this person is very attentive to the details, of course, and is very having or trying to discern, to analyze almost everything and discern the differences of one thing to the other, and they are very attentive to the boundaries between people and among people too. So they are sometimes very precise in their communication. They want you to be very precise, and if you felt attracted to this person, you will feel like, wow, that's very comfortable to begin a relationship with this person, because they are very practical and mentally stable in the beginning of the relationship. And they are very, I'm missing the words, there's a better word to say here. They're very clear with what they really want from this relationship, right? Now we are a couple, and now I become Pisces. Oh my God, what happened here? Yeah, become super sensitive, super imaginative, very romantic, sometimes very contemplative, spiritual, mystical, or artistical, and very sensitive, like trying to reach some sublime states of mind in the relationship. So this person wants to share with you the best emotions, the best feelings, it's possibly to spend some time together. So this is the person now who prepared like a romantic dinner at home, even never telling you before, just prepare all of this, that using their imagination, their sensitivity, their imaginative approach to things, just like a movie director preparing a scenario. And sometimes all the practicity with practical things of life that should be happening now that we are a couple, just all of a sudden disappear, and this person becomes, oh, we do it later. No, but we have to decide where we're going to spend our vacation, next vacation. Now, let it flow. It's not something so important to be like planning everything. But you told me that planning things would be our relationship more. No, but it was in the beginning, not now. We have already done it. The job's already done. So why are we spending our time that we could be enjoying this landscape? We could be enjoying this movie with this popcorn. Nothing else is important now. Only our feelings and enjoying being together and breathing together and looking at each other and singing and dancing and doing Piscean things. So the other person becomes like, what happened to the other guy? I want to spend my time. I want to spend my life with that guy, not the other one. Oh, no, where's the department? Yeah, okay. I have a complaint here. I'm giving it back because it was not what I bought at first. No, it's not possible. And things doesn't happen that way. So be aware that if you meet someone, Virgo, it will become not completely abandon Virgo type and begin being a Piscean type. No, it's not like this. It's, first of all, it's this transformation is very slow in time, and it's not never complete. It's not complete transformation. It's transform itself and keep something from Virgo into the Piscean and Piscean, but Piscean become more predominant in this establishing of the relationship, right? Now that we made the halfway, I will just point some things in the opposite direction. For example, if someone begins with, if you meet someone with this Libra rising, it will become, it's disconcerting too, because it will become Aries in the seventh house. Have Aries in the seventh house. So in the beginning, what do you want? Do you want to go to the show? I don't know. Let's go to a movie show. A movie, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. Okay. So this Libra person is always paying attention on the other person. It's always open to share everything that they will do. They want to spend some time planning, spend some time like trying to understand each decision from a mental point of view, and trying to choose the most harmonic activity or things or plans to be done, right? So in the beginning, they are like this. They are very, very shareable, or choosing shareable things at first. Then this person becomes Aries. So now we are a couple. That's good. So you're going to do your things. I'm going to do my things. And then we meet together and we tell the story of our day or of our week. And so the other person goes, well, but I thought we would, no. You have your own things to do. I have my own things to do. And then we share something. Bye, I'm going. What the hell is happening here? In the beginning, this sharing things, being or trying to spend a lot of time together, this is the beginning. But then real life comes and they want to have different and completely independent things to do in order to have something to share later. Because if they spend all the time all together, they have nothing to share when dinner time comes or when the weekend comes, there's no story to be told because they were present all the time. So there's no news. Oh, you don't even know what happened to me this week. No, there's nothing like this. So they preserve it so much that they want to be like separated, have separated lives or separated objectives or activities during the week and during the day, because they want to feel this. And this brings like the safety sensation of to this area, seventh house. Okay, so this is the inversion of the first example I gave. This happens to Scorpio Taurus binum. What's happening when you meet someone Scorpio Ascendant? In the beginning, they are very silent person. They look at you and seduce you with their eyes, like they look like this, and they move their shoulders and hands. They don't use too much words to do that. They use their body and they use this seduction atmosphere around. So they are very seductive. So this is the beginning with Scorpio. So they're very sexual in the beginning, but then they become more sensual. And sensual, I mean, in the sense of paying a lot of attention on the body. And they are not passionate anymore. In the beginning, they are, oh, you are the most impressive person or the most impressive woman, the most impressive man I have ever met. So I want to spend all my life with you. They're very exaggerated. And this is so important. We are a fusion of souls. Oh, wow. No. Then they become more calm, more stable. And sometimes this is very good for any relationship when you get together and become stable and not driven so much by the emotions. But for the other person, it would be shocking because as if the relationship was like cooling down, and it's not something good. The other person may feel like uncomfortable. Something is cooling too much, so I think the relationship is going to an end. Not true. Just a transformation from Scorpio to Taurus. Okay, so we'll deal with it later. Then think about Gemini. Now think about being Sagittarius in the first. So very dynamic, making decisions and making things happen, making the relationship happening, inviting the other person to go here, to go to a party, to a small trip, or to escapade in some romantic place, and then become Gemini and talk a lot, and do nothing. Nothing, not much activity now. Oh, you are becoming boring to me. You only talk, but all the other activities we used to share in the beginning, what happened with that? Well, that was my first one. I was Sagittarius. Now I am Gemini. So this is a bit of transformation. It's not so radical like the other signs, but it happens sometimes. Then pay attention on Capricorn and Cancer. This is very good because the person begins with a very somewhat cold and somewhat very responsible attitude in the first place. So it's a serious person, very committed to the building of the relationship, and then transform itself in Cancer. For the other person, it could be very good because now this person is more open, more warmed, more welcoming, and giving support, and showing and exposing their emotions. So wow, that's wonderful. But for someone who got or felt attracted to a Capricorn, would feel like, oh, that's too sweet. This emotion, all this atmosphere of welcoming and bringing me, I'm feeling I'm drawing all of this was around me. Not exactly. Most of the time, it's not felt by people, but sometimes could be uncomfortable for someone. Just this is what you're wielding. Then comes to a very problematic thing, very problematic shifting that come to a person who is Aquarius rising and transform itself to Leo. So in the beginning, it's very open-minded, full of things, different things to do. Go to a place, go to another, show different things, and innovative, and surprise you a lot, and change its opinion, change its activity, and move from one place to the other, and meet many different kinds of persons through this rising in Aquarius. So you get used to this full of activities and a mentality, very accelerated mind. Then it transforms itself in Leo. And Leo now is much more tunnel focused, tunnel vision of what the relationship is. And now the admiration that was not important in the beginning now needs to be there. So there's this looking like, I love you. Did I tell you today? Do you love me? It's something that it's almost unbearable if the other one loves too much the Aquarian part, because the beginning it was everything egalitarian. There's not someone more important than the other. So we used to be with groups of people. We spent a lot of activities with a lot of people, and then we went home and do like we tried many different things at home. Now they want to be so focused on a relationship that I feel sometimes like overwhelmed with this presence in my life. So we have to be attentive to this transformation. Then we come to the last sign from this perspective, when you are seeing in the third person, a second person perspective in the other person. We come to the last is Pisces and Virgo. So you begin with a very romantic person, very imaginative, sensitive, full of ideas of how to spend some time together. And like in the beginning, romantic dinner and thought in many details, like the light that comes from the window with the curtains moving, and that kind of music in the background, and the candles on the table, and you know, something like a movie, something like a fairy tale being told, and then it changed. It becomes Virgo. So yeah, now we are a couple, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's it. Now let's see the taxes, and let's organize our day. So how is your next week? So let's think about who's going to buy supermarket, do the supermarket, or do the bank accounting, or think, oh my God, this person now became an entrepreneur in our relationship. But I was used to that romantic guy in the beginning. Isn't there anybody there like this inside of you still? Yeah, this transformation happens, and we have to know how to deal with it. All right. So what's the point now? We are looking from outside someone inside. So I have to be aware that this transformation happens to me too, not only to the other person. So if I am looking to the other person with this, I try to give you the same approach. So you transform yourself in the same way you're seeing the other person. So you have to be aware of this transformation. You cannot control it, but you can regulate it as someone, just like a musician who is tuning its instrument. And this tuning is, how will you live being a Virgo after being a Pisces, being a Leo after being Aquarius, or being or transforming yourself into Capricorn, having already begun being or begun with a Cancer character. You know, how can I do that? I can do it more attentive, more slowly, and preparing the other person, because you love him or her. You love them. So if you love them, try to be loving in this transformation. Allow your transformation with love inside of you, and look into the other person and trying to give support to them to become aware and use it to this using your other planets and characteristics of your chart to uh, uh, make this transformation more subtle, sometimes more sensitive, more romantic in some sense too. So we can have this happening with a fun way. We can allow this happen with loving atmosphere around and trying to keep more of the ascendant after the relationship become like established as a love relationship, as a couple relationship. Okay, so if we are aware of this information, we can facilitate it to the other person. So if both of them know themselves and now know the other one, they can see how to mix, they can see how to match both charts, at least in the ascendant-descendant relationship. But if you know your own chart, or if you know about yourself, and you know this information could be somewhat difficult to the other person, just like I have, like transforming from Taurus to Scorpio, being an Aquarius. This is like crazy thing. So if I know myself enough, I can mix it in such a way that my Scorpio is not dealing with the dark side of Scorpio. I know it's there. I know how is it being jealous, being controlling, being like manipulative sometimes, but this happens. It happens because I want to feel safe in this relationship. And if I feel that my relationship is becoming Scorpio, oh, going deep in the relationship. Oh, yeah, going deep into emotions and the seduction thing and the silence that it was not here when we began. This could happen something bad. So I need to at least control a little bit to be sure, only to be sure that this relationship would work properly, to say the minimum. So while I'm doing this controlling thing, the other person will react like stepping back. And then I feel fear of losing her or there. Then I try to control a little bit more. And then the other person becomes a little bit more scared and step back and step back. And then I destroy my own relationship by acting like this. No? So this is something very, very important for someone who knows himself or herself and know how to stop the dark part of a sign, like being aggressive to Sagittarius, Aries, seventh house. So I can just regulate the amount of the sign I put into action, into my behavior in the relationship, and also choosing to live as much as I can, or as the best attitudes of being Scorpio, in my case, like being supportive, being very attentive, silently attentive to the needs of the other person, the emotional needs of the other person, and giving them what they need, or trying to give some kind of support, respecting a lot the limits, the boundaries, and asking before sometimes and not acting, just like trying to control the other person, trying to control the relationship. So it's up to the one who knows himself to act like that, right? So this is also, for example, if I meet someone, Taurus, Scorpio, I know that this person needs a little more of emotional support. I know that this person could feel like uncomfortable if I hide too much. So I try to be a little more, not transparent, like I could be more transparent than ever, but understanding that my transparency would be good for the other person to trust me and not fall in the dark side of Scorpio. The same thing is allowing the other person to be a little bit like impulsive, but saying, listen, you can be impulsive, but don't treat me like that, because that is rudeness. That's not impulsiveness, this is rudeness. And you have to learn how to deal with that. So, and trying to show the other person when they are being rude or they are being aggressive or they are being abusive in any sense, listen, don't go there. We have this responsibility to tell where the lines are, you know, and then we can help the one who we are in love with, helping with love, to be aware of their own work with themselves and pointing things. Don't be, or don't try to control me. Don't try to control the relationship. You are losing your time. You are wasting your time. You are wasting your energy. Don't do that. What do you want from me? So we have to be respectfully attentive to the other person too. So when we know that we change, we will accept more easily that the other person changed too. But and then we can see how the other person is not only their seventh house, they are much more than that. They have lots of other characteristics inside of them. So we can reduce the importance of that changing and giving support to the other person to be their Venus, their Mars, Moon, their Sun, and then we can like improve the importance of other parts that don't bother me in any sense. I feel good about them. So we can make the relationship more, or we can emphasize the parts of the relationship that are more lovely or more loving or more supportive to the relationship in itself. But for that, we must know ourselves a lot and know the other person a little and be open to learn and be open to find out who the other person is and not establishing that if this information happens, I don't want it anymore. Why? Why can't you understand the other person and give space to them to be themselves and enjoy this transformation as you enjoy transformations in a movie, for example? If a movie, there's no transformation from the beginning to the end, what's the point in going to the movies? You know, there's always challenging in whatever story you listen. There's always an adventure. So why don't we treat our lives like that? And we want things to happen the same way from the beginning to the end. No, it never happens because things change. And also, this is a change that we can like have a preview if you know what's the meaning of the sign there. Right? So what I'm trying to tell you this time, to understand this transformation that happens with everybody, and it includes you. Pay attention on this and try to see yourself transforming, and then accept the transformation on the other, and find this an invitation to enter an adventure, how we are going to deal with this, with fun, with love, with flexibility, with curiosity too. Just like when you are listening to a story or in a theater, in a movie. So we don't know how a movie will end, but we are always very committed to the movie from the beginning. And well, a good movie, of course. There are some movies which we just turn it off. But anyway, or go away from the theater. But anyway, the point is to be committed to this relationship by being part of the building of this relationship, knowing that transformations will happen in both of you, in a good way and sometimes in a not so good way, so we can make it good with our consciousness, with our choices, and with our interaction with flexibility and enjoying life as it is, not it should be in some crazy plan inside our head. Sorry. Right? Thank you so much for spending your time with me. And I hope I have helped you in some sense. Whoever liked this video and whoever liked my face and my style, you can subscribe to my channel, and you can just touch the to be yeah. Yeah, I just forgot the name of the things, but okay. Subscribe to my channel and be attentive to some other videos. I don't usually record videos or do lives like this because I only do that when I have something really important to say. I don't think I should be just posting things because it's required by the algorithm. And later on, I will invite you to make part of a big plan that's called 639. Pay attention on this number, 639. It's going to happen one day next year, for example. And I'll be here to tell you the good news that will come. Nice to see you. I hope you come back to another video. So let's see each other in the future. Have a nice fun. Lots of fun. Bye.